Metallica frontman James Hetfield recently participated in a live Q&A and gave a big update on the upcoming Metallica album. Yes, they are working on new music. Plus, Slipknot vocalist Corey Taylor, in an interview promoting his upcoming solo release due in October, is talking about recording with Slipknot and comparing and contrasting the two experiences. And he says that some members of Slipknot are effing miserable people. We're going to talk about that interview here in just a moment. Stick around, we've got a lot to get to. Good afternoon and welcome to Rock Feed. Thanks so much for joining us. Look, tonight are the MTV Video Music Awards, and we already know that they don't play music videos anymore, but they also don't talk about rock music. And so while this will be a real big deal and it'll be trending, hard rock music, heavy metal music will be nowhere to be found. I'm trying to bring that to you here. It's not mainstream. It's people like me who are just fans that are trying to put this together. If you want to support and you want to build this community, the best way you can do that is by subscribing with notifications on so you don't miss out on updates about your bands, and dropping a thumbs up on this video. It tells YouTube you like us and they'll show our video to more rock fans. All right, now that we've got that promo out of the way, I want to talk to you guys about this Jeanco hat. There's been a lot of controversy here about my Jeanco hat. Should I wear it? I'm just kidding. All right, listen, before we get to this Corey Taylor story, we got to talk about the upcoming Metallica album. And Metallica is working on a new record because Lars said in a previous interview, if they weren't going to play any shows in 2020, they were going to stay productive, they were going to work on new music, and that is exactly what they're doing. We've talked about this a couple times before. They've confirmed their writing. They've confirmed they're going to start recording demos and things like that. And so now we have vocalist James Hetfield recently participating in a SiriusXM town hall, and one of the questions was about how that progress is going on this new Metallica album, and he had a lot to say about it. He's actually very insightful. Anytime you get James Hetfield talking, which he does not do a lot of interviews, he notoriously is shy around the media, and go back and watch his interview with Joe Rogan. It was fantastic. So when you get him, I sit back and listen. It's always great to hear him speak. And so he was asked about this and how he's spending his time during the coronavirus downtime in the industry. He says, for me, and I don't want to sound ungrateful because I know there's a lot of people out there that are struggling because of this COVID. Where I live, it's all service industry. And obviously, the music industry, it's tough. It's taken a big hit. For us, we're road dogs. We've been out on the road forever, so you're either on the road or you're writing. So the obvious thing is, we're not on the road, start writing. So I've written tons of material, and I'm sure there's lots of musicians out there that are just like, okay, what can I do? I'm going to write and just get into that, which I love doing. I'd say the other huge thing that's coming out of this is getting to stay home in my hometown here in Colorado. So I've been building community with friends, doing outdoor stuff. We're pretty fortunate here up in the mountains that COVID hasn't really locked us down as much as some of the other places. And I feel that the people that live in the big cities, but out here, you can get out, you can bike, you can ride, raft, fishing, shooting, hunting, whatever it is. I've got lots of friends here that I couldn't have before. So I've been hosting barbecues and having people over and building a community with friends that I wasn't really able to do before because, I can't do that because we got to go next week. We've got to rehearse. We've got to do this. We've got to do that. So I've actually been taking time to build true friendships. Not that I don't have them, but locally, it's been a huge thing for me, and getting in the garage. I love getting in my garage and just tinkering, doing some more welding. I welded a couple things for the All Within My Hands Foundation. I've made some bird feeders. I'm right now staring out the window at 50 different birds that come up and eat. That's kind of like my new TV right there. So just enjoying nature and enjoying my life the way it is right now. And you'll recall that Metallica has that drive-in movie performance where they commandeered a winery in a neighborhood, and the neighbors had no idea about it. You can check that video out also on the channel. It's a very interesting story. We talked about that the other day. And speaking about this, guitarist Kirk Hammett also says that he has a bunch of ideas for this upcoming Metallica record. He said the following: Speaking in a new interview with Uproxx, Kirk was asked about the follow-up to their album Hardwired to Self-Destruct, and he says, "We've been having weekly check-ins and the dialogue has been steered towards what we're going to do in the immediate future, and I've been using this time to go through all my musical ideas that I've come up with in the last 3 to 4 years. It's over 600 ideas. It's taken me a couple months to go through it all, but they've been sent into the big musical idea bank, and we're starting to talk about going through all that stuff and exchanging ideas and just starting to get the ball rolling towards creating some new material. There's a lot we can do remotely, but I really think that we all need to be together in the same room to really create some really, really, really great songs and music. The magic really happens when we're all in the same room, breathing the same air, even though that can be deadly." So he says that he has a lot of kick-ass ideas for Metallica's next album. Of course, you'll recall that Kirk famously had an iPhone that he lost during the recording of Hardwired to Self-Destruct, and he lost hundreds of ideas for the album and basically had to start writing from scratch because he lost that device. I'm sure at this point they've invested in some sort of cloud computing platform that will prevent that in the future. All right, moving on, let's talk about this new interview with Slipknot vocalist Corey Taylor, Slipknot and Stone Sour vocalist, although Stone Sour is notably on hiatus. Everyone's on hiatus right now. But Corey Taylor is releasing a solo album. It's highly anticipated. It's due out in October. Make sure you support that. It's available on his official website. It's also available. You can pre-save it on Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. He's got 2 singles out. And yeah, he's promoting the heck out of it. He's doing a lot of interviews. And in a new interview with Chaos TV, which I've linked to in the description of this video, they talk about a bunch of different topics. Corey specifically touched on how it's been good being able to do his own solo album, because he talked about how some people are just miserable when it comes to, you know, working with them in the studio. And so the interviewer did a good job. He asked a follow-up question, and yeah, he asked about Slipknot, and Corey was just basically saying, yeah, some people you just grow apart with over time, and it can be difficult to work with them, but don't listen to me. This is exactly what he had to say. We had so much fun recording this album, and that's one of the reasons I chose the people I did to be in the band, because some of these guys I've known for almost 20 years. We've all been friends. I knew how good they were, but I also knew that they would be as excited about the recording process as I would be. So every day was just another chance to laugh. Every day was just another chance to hang out with your bros and have a good time making music. We didn't hold anything back. We were just so stoked and so excited about making a big rock album that we just got into it. So in a way, it was a complete 180 from an experience that I really haven't had since the first Slipknot album. It was so enjoyable and so positive that it really kind of set the tone for me as like, you know what? This is the only way that I want to make music from now on. I don't want to waste my time with people who are effing miserable anymore. I want to make music with people who are as stoked as I am about what we get to do for our lives. And yeah, that is a really good energy that we pulled out of it. So he was asked about that effing miserable comment, and he says, yeah, I mean, you would think that that would lend itself sometimes, but some people just can't get out of their own way when it comes to just being unhappy. It's like, man, what do you have to be unhappy about? We've been living our dream. It's been over 20 years now, and we still get to do this, you know? I don't get it. In a lot of ways, it shows me that certain people's choices in life can really dictate how they become in life, whereas I still make music for the same reason that I wanted to make music when I was a kid, because I loved it. And, you know, it's just one of those cases where sometimes you just grow apart, people just change, and you wake up one day and somebody you've known for 20 years, you have very little in common with. It's not to say that you don't still make good music together, but it's different, which is an interesting comment from Corey Taylor, to say the least. I have no idea who Corey's talking about there, but it sounds like he's referring to the guys that have been in the band for 20 years, not guys like V-Man, Michael or Tortilla, or obviously Jay Weinberg. It sounds like he's talking about a limited number of members that are in the band that he's known for 20 years or so, and he's talking about one person, it sounds like. Again, I'll leave it at that, but I do hope for the band's sake, this band that we all care about, that that individual member is able to at least be more positive, and we don't want to lose any more Slipknot members. We want them to be able to, you know, to work these things out. You know, Corey is a very positive guy. He's a very nice guy. I can speak to that for firsthand experience. So I believe him when he says that, you know, at this state in the game for him, he doesn't have to make new music. So if he's going to make new music, he is able to be able to do it on his own terms. And I mean, quite frankly, he's earned that for himself. So I hope that does work out for those guys, because if not, Corey can make these solo records. He can do whatever he wants. I'll go watch him play Slipknot songs acoustic. I don't give a shit. As long as we're getting some new, you know, as long as we're getting to hear those songs in one form or another, you know. So anyways, folks, that is all for now. Let me know what you guys think about this story and the Metallica story in the comments down below, as always. And thank you so much for joining us each and every day today at Rockfeed. I'm really always grateful for the support from you all. And yeah, again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all very soon.